This is a quick walkthrough video for doing plant checks. First thing you're going to do before you even enter the room is look here at the high and low limit lights. So if either of these lights are going off, you do not enter the room, you call for help. If those lights are good, you're next looking at parts per million. You need to verify and make sure it's the room and not the vent line. After that, you're recording that right here. Ammonia parts per million. You write down what it is. Next thing you're looking at is this. This is the water level. If you give it a little shake, you can see the water level sitting right at the red line. That's exactly where we want it to be. If it's higher or lower, you need to notify somebody. We need to correct that. So that's the next one right here. Water at red line, RT1. And there's a little box, just check the box if it's good. Next we've got inside temperature and outside temperature. Inside temperature you're getting right here, 20 degrees, that's what we want to see. And then outside temperature you're getting here in this spot on the screen. Next from that is our east stat temperature, set point temperature, east warm floor, set point temperature. So you're going to find all of that right here. So this is your current temperature of the AK arena, the east arena. This is your active set point. I've turned that up in order to have the plant off for this video. The warm floor and your warm floor set point is over here. Same thing for the other rink. All in the same places, just a little below. So that's take care of all your set points. Next you've got your hour meters. You're getting those compressor 1, compressor 2 off of there. Next you're coming over here and you're doing your compressor number 1. So we've got high pressure, low pressure, oil level. So high pressure, low pressure, oil pressure, oil level. Same as before. Straight line if it's off, fill in the line if it's running. Suction and discharge temperature. Suction temperature is here, discharge temperature is around the back. It's your discharge temperature. Next, we've got your cooling jacket pump pressure, so that's here. Compressor 1 glycol pressure, P103. You'll see P103, that's the pump. You'll find that in a lot of places to help you find things in the room. Compressor number 2, basically the exact same as compressor number 1. High pressure, low pressure, oil, suction, discharge, pump pressure. Next, we are looking at the glycol inlet and outlet temperature. So this is your inlet, temperature there, up here, outlet, temperature there. After that, we've got HX4 ammonia sight glass. So you'll see there's a bigger one and a smaller one. The ones that we want, this one here is the bigger one, this one down here is the smaller one. This one is going to fluctuate based on what the plant is doing. So right now, it's full of ammonia. That's all ammonia. Shining a flashlight makes it a lot easier to see what's in there. Depending on what the plant's doing, how long it's been running for, how many compressors are running, you might see it kind of at the halfway mark, you might see it down here, you might see actually like a little V shape. So just draw whatever you see in that circle. Down here, this one should always be solid. If that one's not dark and full of ammonia, we have an issue and you should notify someone right away. The other sight glasses we aren't recording because we're just taking the 2 most vital ones. Next, we're coming around to the brine pumps. Brine pumps are over here, and the reason I'm coming this side first is because I'm going to start with the east, because in everything we're checking, east is coming first. So down here we've got east brine pump pressure. right here. And we're always gonna do the pump pressure first because that'll dictate whether you're filling in this side or this side. So if it's running, you wanna write the numbers down this side here so that the ones are visible. That shows that 1 means it's on, 0 means it's off. So if you see all ones, you know that equipment was running when the recordings were taken. If you see all zeros, you know the equipment was off when the recordings were taken. So right now I would put 0 and then I'd put my 2 temperatures. Temperatures, I'm gonna find supply here, return here. Curling rink, supply here, return there. TC arena, supply here, and return there. Pump pressures for the curling and for the TC arena there. So that takes care of all the brine pumps and temperatures. Next, I'm coming to the brine tanks, so the level. This, we still need to make this a little clearer, easier to read by putting some black marker on there, but you want to take the reading off of there. Little tough right now, but it's at about 65 gallons. Tank number 2, again, little tough, sitting somewhere similar around 65 gallons. And then number 3, it's in liters and it's about 120 liters. And you'll often see, maybe a little bit of movement in these tanks if the plant's running. After the 3 brine tanks, so here tank 1, 2, and 3. Next we're moving to warm floor brine supply. So this is your warm floor brine supply. Take your temperature there, and then same thing. Depending on if this pump is running or not, write it down to the left and the right, and you've got your pump pressure, and then you've got your return temperature. And then here you've got your pump pressure, and then over here you've got your return temperature. Getting this return temperature is going to be way easier if you sort of lean over here between this VFD and this line and look at it from over here back further. A lot easier to see. Next, after that, we're going down to the warm. We just did those. So glycol supply pump pressure. So that's this one here. This is the glycol pump pressure there. And then next we're going to take the readings off of the tank and record the level here in liters. So after you write that down, next you're going to warm glycol supply and the snow melt pit pressure and return. So warm glycol supply, snow melt pressure, snow melt return. And after that, that's it. Record your signature and make sure to note if you encountered any unusual noise, vibration, or other issues. If you strange sounds, smells, anything like that. I've been doing this for a long time and I've encountered all sorts of little small issues that you just pick up. Something sounds funny, something's vibrating more than normal. We want to make sure that that's reported to somebody. So for example, this morning, Fred noted that there was a little bit of a smell of ammonia. I came in, I found the leak, and right here I reported to Gateway. Gateway came in later that day. They fixed the leak. We recorded here that there was a small leak and that Gateway repaired it. So this is very important for keeping track of issues. Issues like that are things the computer's never going to pick up. This glycol tank, we probably worked some error to the system, and in the course of the last week, it had dropped from about 22 down to about 9.5 this morning. So Gateway also topped up the glycol. Things like that the glycol level, the computer's never going to know what that is. Same with the, the amount of ammonia that was in the room this morning, it still read 0 parts per million on the screen. It didn't pick it up because it was such a small amount, and it was getting pulled out with the ventilation unit before it ever could reach the sensor. It was very difficult to find the leak, and then once it was discovered, it was an easy fix. So these are things that we need people actually in the room, walking around, paying attention to things. As you do your checks, it really doesn't hurt to put your hands on things and feel. If you feel here and it says that it's going out at 5 degrees Celsius, does that feel right to you compared to when you feel up here and it says it's coming back at, say, 8 degrees or whatever? Do you feel a temperature difference between those two things? These are little nuances that we want you to pay attention to and let people know. So if you find an issue that's related to anything that's out of the ordinary, whether it's, you think that the numbers you recorded seem off, or you found an unusual sound or smell or noise, I want it to be recorded that you reported it to either your FMT supervisor or to a contractor like Gateway or somebody. Okay, thanks a lot, and let me know if you have any questions.